No,
I'm good. Go.
I got no problem. It don't matter. On August 6th is all that matters. I could win the press conference. I could win every interview. All that matters is on August 6th. Jake Paul got to fall. That's all I'm focused on.
Hasim, what was your first thought when you got the call or the email or however it was they communicated that they were interested in you as an opponent for this fight?
They actually kind of hit me with a little okie doke. Like they hit me like they wanted to see where my weight was and how I was feeling because they claimed to have been wanting to fight Anderson Silva, so they needed a southpaw to come in and work. So when they called me back like an hour later, with talking about they wanted to fight, I was thrown off. I was like, what? He want to fight me for real? Bet, say less. Let's go. It was not really much thought put into it because I know he's not superior to me boxing wise, and I know that if I come prepared, when I come prepared, it's gonna be a sad day for Jake Paul and all his fans.
Yes, any advice from your father that you can share with us?
Stay focused.
When your father said that, essentially said that you've underachieved to this point at the press conference today, how did that make you feel?
I mean, I wasn't really surprised. My father always tell the truth. So, he's not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I could have been, I love you too. I could have been in better shape for all my fights. But that's the beauty of it. He's not gonna, that's why I love my dad so much. He's not gonna sugarcoat it. He's not gonna sugarcoat it for me. He's not gonna sugarcoat it for y'all. If I wasn't where I was supposed to be, like he said, he told y'all today I wasn't. And that comes from me being full of myself and believing in this undefeated hype and you can't be defeated and all this, everything you're doing is enough, nobody can touch you. I got humbled. I had to take a slice of humble pie and go back to the drawing board, get back with my coach, and go harder than ever before.
What does it feel like to have Yoel Judah in your corner coming off of one of the biggest boxing wins in all of history, probably within a generation? What does it feel like for you to have Yoel in your corner?
It's amazing. This family, so it ain't nothing new. I knew what Devin was going to do before he even went over there. I knew he was going to come back with all the belts. And to have a mastermind, a person who's well-versed in not only boxing, but many combat sports. This man knows fighting. This man knows what we up against, and he knows that when we come on August 6th, we're going to come ready, we're going to come prepared, and it's like I said before, it's going to be an ugly night for Jake Paul.
People nonstop are saying that you're going to take a dive in this fight because of one sparring session. Can you just put that to rest, and to all the people that are saying that this fight's going to be fixed, what do you say to that?
I mean, look, man, I was in Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall. My father was fighting Vander Holyfield. He had a hematoma on his head, the size of a cantaloupe. He put his life on the line in this sport. Holyfield could have hit that thing, it could have bust open, my father could have died. He really put his life on the line. You really think I'm gonna disrespect not only my father, but the sport that I love, the sport that put me through private school, the sport that has afforded me not to ever want for anything. I've never wanted anything, ever, in my life, because of boxing. I don't know what it's like to want something because my father put in so much work in this sport and dedicated his life to this sport. So in what realm do you think I'm about to go out there and do anything other than put my best foot forward? You're asinine if you think that.
Talk about avoiding the distractions with the with the bat and these other things that, he was almost trying to bait you into taking. You're clearly focused on the fighter. Is that kind of stuff? I'm turning this into a Hasim Rahman Jr. show. Right. It's not his show. Right. It's my show. And the fight's gonna go the same way. Whatever he try to do, I'm not gonna let him do. It's what I do. This my fight. It's not his fight.
How important it is to defend the family name? Because you mentioned in the press conference how the last name is always in the boxing world.
That's what I'm saying. Like he tried to say he gonna end the. He can't. He can't. We in the history books forever. Rockman is in the history books forever, and I'm not the last Rockman. There's gonna be a Rockman after me, Sharif, and there's gonna be a Rockman after him, Hassan. Now I don't know how many more Rockmans we got, But those two, Sharif and Hassan, are definitely coming after me, and he's gonna have to pay for all that talking he did. He's gonna have to pay, because when I get in there on August 6th, I'm gonna remember everything he said.
What is
Hasim, you said, I'm going to humble him, and I quote, I'm going to humble him. Your confidence is pretty high, going into the fight is pretty high, but also talk about the rehydration clause. You know, could that also be a factor? It's important that you brought that up during the press conference.
I mean, because he want to keep running around talking about how, oh, I'm fighting the heavyweight, I'm fighting the heavyweight. You're not fighting the heavyweight. You're fighting someone who fought at heavyweight, but we're fighting the cruiserweight bout. This is a cruiserweight bout. And then on top of, he keep wanting to say heavyweight, 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 but you put in the contract that I couldn't gain 10 pounds the next day, all the way up to like 6 p.m. Like, come on, man. That's crazy.
Do you see it affecting you?
No. We have the best team in the world, and my weight's already coming down crazy. I'm gonna hit weight before the fight, and we're gonna be ready to go. I don't have no problem putting in the work. I don't have no problem making the sacrifice. This is such a huge opportunity. So many champions before me have made that sacrifice, and that's what they do. Just because it's not a weight class that I've made before doesn't mean that I can't do it. I can do it. I will do it. And on August 5th, y'all gonna see I'm gonna make that weight easy. And something that I didn't mention at the press conference, not only did he put in a rehydration clause, they fined me 25% for every pound I'm over. Matter of fact, every 4 ounces I'm over, I get 25% of my paycheck cut. That's how bad they don't want me to miss the weight. So if I come in 202, I don't get but half of what the pay is. Like, come on, they pretty much sent me the contract to say no, so they can say that I turned it down. But I said yes.
A handicap.
It's a handicap. They always. That's the only way Jake Paul get down. He always want a handicap. When I'm sparring him, I can't switch southpaw. I can't go but 50%. I only can use my left hand. In the fight, you got a rehydration clause. You got to come down to my weight. Even though in boxing, how many times y'all see somebody step in at the last minute and get an extremely high payday? I'm taking the lowest payday that any Jake Paul's opponent ever taken by everybody that fought. Jake Paul got more than double what I'm getting. Yeah. Every single one of them.
So he admitted yesterday that you got the best of him in the sparring.
Excuse me? Say that again?
He admitted yesterday on Ariel Helwani's show that he got the best of you doing sparring.
He's saying that it was heated sparring.
You got the best of him. I had to get that right.
Okay, so he's saying I got the best of him. That's crazy because I heard him say before that it was a heated sparring match. How is it a heated sparring match if I'm using one hand?
Where was your hand? Like behind your back? Or
No, like I was only using my left hand.
Okay.
But I wasn't telling him that I was only using my left hand. He just couldn't figure that out because his IQ is way down here.
A lot of times sparring is like a time to work on stuff.
Exactly, and that's what I came to do.
A lot of his fans are casual fans.
Joel,
so
what differences do you see in Rahman already in this fight and from other fights or training sessions? What differences do you see in Rock Jr. so far?
He's just way more focused. He's focused for this fight. This is the big one. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to do it. You know what I mean? He's up for this fight. He's doing everything we asked him for. And come August 6th, he's going to be victorious.
How old were you when your dad beat Lennox Lewis?
9.
You have any memories of it?
Of course, I remember every second. And I knew right when Lennox hit the deck, I was screaming like, "Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!" The reason why I was screaming "Get up" was because I knew my father was such a killer. It was gonna be a blockbuster if they let him put his hands on him again. But he didn't get up, and as soon as they waved it off and we won, I said, "Oh, it's a target on my back." And I was more so thinking of it like for my father, because I knew everybody would be after him. But I knew when I went back to school, when I went to football practice, when I went to basketball practice, I knew it was gonna be a target on me because now we just did this astronomical thing that pretty much nobody had ever done up until that point. So I know you've been waiting.
Last question.
She been waiting, let her go.
So, following your sparring session, I know we keep going back to that video. You feel like you actually learned anything from him? I'm sure you have an advantage over him.
I mean, you learn every day in the boxing gym, but I was teaching. And this is the thing. Jake Paul don't never talk about the first time we sparred. He only talked about the second time, the time that they posted.
Can
He
you
don't
tell us
talk
about
the first time we sparred was in California, and he was getting ready to fight Anisi and Gid, and I literally was walking him through it. Logan almost got his head taken off by Joey DeJeco, and then Jake got in the ring with me. Me and Joey had already sparred, so it's always a handicap with Jake. Me and Joey had already went like 6-8 rounds. Then Logan and Joey sparred, and Logan almost got his head taken off by Joey, like I said. Then I get in there with Jake, and they're like, you know, these guys are YouTubers, they're not real. I walk Jake through every second of that sparring session. And I think that's probably why he was kind of upset. He's like, this guy's like talking to me, and I'm really trying hard, and Jake's he's a content creator. That's what he does.
If I can just follow up, I know you're extremely confident that you're gonna beat Jake Paul, but is there something that about his game where you're just like, you know, I do have to watch out for this.
Of course,
I do have to
absolutely,
watch out for that.
absolutely. I respect him as a fighter. I respect him as an opponent. I'm going into this fight like I'm fighting Deontay Wilder. My man wanted a question right here.
Yeah. How important is it for you to be headlining at Madison Square Garden?
It's the most important thing in my career so far. This is the mecca of boxing. So, inshallah, we're going to come out victorious. I'm doing this fight, and I want everybody to know that I'm doing this fight for all the Muslims across the world, bar none. So, inshallah, we come out on top.
Last question.
What did you sense from him staring him down today? Did you feel like he was nervous at all?
I knew what he was gonna say before we got up there. He said it, so it confirmed to me I'm on point with what I thought. So I knew exactly what he was gonna say. I knew exactly what he was gonna say. I didn't know the words that he was gonna use to say it, but I knew what he was gonna say. So I already knew what he thought his best hand was in this fight, and I already took it away from him. So we're gonna see on August 6th when he sees that that's not gonna work, he's gonna panic.
That's right.
And we all know what happens when fighters panic.
That's right.
What would this win do for your career, your popularity, everything?
We're gonna see on August 6th.